Hey everyone, it's Alicia here from Featherweight 38. I wanted to do a winter edition 2018 welcome video to kind of let you know what was going on for a new year with Featherweight 38, to welcome those that are just joining us, and to say hello to those that have been following us for some time, and go over a little bit about what Featherweight 38 is about and what you can expect here, and hopefully answer any questions that you guys might have. So many of you know, and some of you don't know, my Featherweight 38 starting story. Back in April of last year, I sewed for the first time on a 1948 Featherweight and fell in love. At that moment, I am a sucker when it comes to vintage and old things. Here recently, I have been doing a lot more on the collecting of the vintage attachments, just because I think that all of this and the ingenuity around it is just amazing. So once I sewed on a Featherweight, that next weekend I was on a quest to find a Featherweight of my own, and I did. It was a 1939 Singer Featherweight that I named Clickety. So I buckled my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old in their car seat, and away we went, round trip from Dayton, Ohio to Tennessee, so that way I could pick up this little Featherweight in its little black box. And when I brought it home, I was taken back a little bit, mainly because when I went to plug it in and start sewing on this cute little Featherweight that I thought was going to make this adorable little clickety-clack noise, ended up being a disaster. So the machine itself didn't even have the standard presser foot. There wasn't a manual. It had been greased and lubricated, but that was pretty much the extent of it. I don't even know if it had been fully sewn on at all and forever. The cord was definitely an original cord, so there was definitely a little safety issue there with the electrical. And so my heart was crushed and thinking that this was probably a mistake. So my husband took Clickety and started taking him apart and cleaning up all of the parts and replaced the cord, and we got Clickety up and running. And so that was how Featherweight 38 was born. I decided that I wanted to find some of these rough-edged Featherweights, and I wanted to fix them up so that way people, when they got a Featherweight, it would be a turnkey machine for them. And so you wouldn't have to fiddle with all of the little technical issues, that you could pull your Featherweight out of the box when it arrived on your doorstep and start making quilts or clothes or whatever it is that your little heart desired. So that's what Featherweight 38 is about. I wanted to extend customer service to everyone, because I know that sometimes when somebody slaps a for sale sign on something, you have no idea what has gone into the machine. So I started the Featherweight 38 page on Facebook as a way to keep everyone in the loop. So I will take before and after pictures. I will share with you when we're dealing with a technical issue. I do lots of video blogs. That way it gives you a front row seat to what Featherweight 38 is about, and so you can watch the restoration for yourself. Since we have grown a little bit, not only do we fix up Featherweights for sale, we have had people send their Featherweight for a complete restoration through us, which is always a lot of fun to do. I've had people buy a Featherweight off of eBay and have it sent from eBay directly to my home, never even seeing the Featherweight, and then I will make a personalized phone conversation with you, and if you have an Apple iPhone, we'll FaceTime one another and go through the whole machine and do a rough estimate of what parts that I can see with the naked eye would need to be changed out. What we do at Featherweight 38, let me go a little bit about the restoration project so that way you know what to expect while you're here. As soon as we get the machine, we take a picture of it in its not so pretty state, and then I do a lot of before and afters as I start to remove all of the external parts, such as the faceplate, the bobbin assembly, the bobbin case, the feed dog, and the throat plate. The motor pulley, we do take all of that off. We take off the hand wheel, the belt, and the upper tension unit. So you'll see that we clean each individual part, and then we will wax the whole machine and get that machine shined up to the best of our ability. We also clean back behind the motor and right around where the motor pulley is. We check to make sure that there is a bake light that is not cracked on the back of the machine where the plug goes into the machine. And we make sure that each machine has a standard presser foot along with a manual. And then from there, what we'll end up doing is once it's waxed, we'll put all of the parts on there. And again, we do video blogs. We will then test stitch and set the upper tension unit to recalibrate it. And then we will do a stitching debut, so that way you can actually see and hear the machine itself stitching and see all that for yourself. When we do it for sale, we do a little bit differently than a restoration. And the for sale, basically, I am the one that's making the shots, so calling the shots, I guess you would say, and changing out parts that I feel need to be changed out. I generally don't supply the ones for sale with an LED light because it is getting harder and harder for me to find these machines at a decent price as it is. And I don't like to jack up prices. I try to keep my prices as reasonable as possible. 90% of the time we're just breaking even when we sell the machines. And so I'm trying to find them a little bit cheaper, but it's actually a lot harder to do that. So with that being said, an LED light's around $13. So for me, when I'm selling machine, I just have the standard light in there. However, if an LED light is something that you would like, that is not an issue for me to get that for you. You would just pay the difference. With a restoration, however, we can walk through and I can order any of the parts that you want, and then that way it just comes all at once with the machine and you wouldn't have to hassle with that. So it's a lot of fun working with people that send me the machine. I do phone call before I post anything on Facebook if there's ever an issue or a technicality. That way you're the first one in control, and we just have a better communication that way. So I just wanted to welcome you all here to Featherweight 38. If you have any additional questions, feel free to comment below, send me a message, or even give me a telephone call. I'd be more than happy to answer them as best as I can. Again, thank you so much for all of your love and support, and I really appreciate having you here.